I mean, can you believe it? The auto industry is going through a lot of change at the moment, with Ford and GM encountering quite significant challenges on their much-hyped electric cars. Yeah, I know that is what you might be thinking. The EV revolution that was hailed as the future of motoring is now facing some serious roadblocks. But what's really happening? Why are EV owners who were once considered the vanguard in vehicle improvement seemingly having second thoughts about their electric rides? We will get into this. There we'll see why there seems to be growing disaffection amongst EV drivers. So let us buckle up for this kind of unfolding drama in the world of EVs. Now let's narrow down to Ford, particularly the groundbreaking F-150 and its electric iteration, known as F-150 Lightning. It sought opinion from 3,500 F-150 owners regarding how they used them between September 2021 and October 2022. Unbelievable findings emerged as they found out that an incredible 74% of Lightning possessors use these trucks for household projects every month, which is substantially higher compared to just over half, 51%. Regular F-150 owners do in this respect. And when it comes to heavy-duty tasks, 27% of Lightning owners are on it more than once a month, compared to just 14% of the traditional F-150 crowd. Camping trips are a big hit too, with 48% of Lightning owners heading out monthly, outpacing the 40% of regular F-150 owners. It's clear, Lightning owners are not just driving their trucks, they're making the most of them. But here's the twist. Despite this heavy usage, there's a sense of dissatisfaction hanging over Ford and GM's EV efforts. Ford's EV division, Model E, is losing money, even though they're earning more. This financial struggle is putting a damper on their EV dreams. They're trying to cut production costs, but it's a tough ride. Even their Mustang Mach-E is feeling the pinch. And with Ford easing up on its EV dealer program, finding these electric beauties is getting tougher. Now, let's look at GM. They're in their own tricky situation, adjusting EV production to avoid heavy discounts. This means less choice for EV enthusiasts. And for those waiting for GM's new mass-market EVs, well, there's a bit of a wait, as they're pushing back the launch dates. So, what's the big picture here? Ford and GM are in a bit of a juggle, balancing gas, hybrid, and electric vehicles, trying to keep up with the EV trend. But it looks like they're stumbling a bit, leading to a slower release of new EV models that people want. The impact is significant. Ford's EV division, Model E, is losing money at an alarming rate. They're facing such big losses on each EV they sell that they've had to delay a massive $12 billion in EV investments. Yes, even their big battery plant project in Kentucky is on pause. However, it's not all doom and gloom. Ford's traditional gas and hybrid vehicles are still keeping them in the game. It's quite the financial balancing act they're performing. But here's where it gets more complicated. Sales of Ford's F-150 Lightning, which was supposed to be a big hit in electric trucks, are slowing down. The main challenge for Ford now is finding the sweet spot between pricing, profit, and customer demand. Making EVs affordable is key, and they're really working hard to get it right. Ford CEO Jim Farley is making some tough calls to redirect the company. They're focusing on electrifying their popular models while still offering gas and hybrid options. Ford's approach is to go at a pace that matches how quickly people are adopting EVs, and they're cutting costs wherever they can to make their EVs more affordable. Now let's talk about GM. They're slowing down their EV production in North America. The reason? They want to keep their prices stable and adapt to a slower demand for EVs. They've even put some of their mass-market EV models and a $4 billion electric truck plant in Michigan on hold. Financially, GM is also in a tight spot. They've had to lower their profit expectations for 2023 and are trimming costs to improve profitability. Their focus is on making vehicles that are cheaper to produce but still make a good profit, adjusting their production to what the market is willing to support. The market's response to all this hasn't been great. Both Ford and GM had seen their stock prices drop. They're in a highly competitive market, dealing with intense price wars and trying to make their EVs more cost-effective. But Ford and GM aren't just sitting around. They're actively addressing the issues their EV customers are facing. One of their biggest steps is improving charging infrastructure. They've decided to work with Tesla's supercharger network, which is a huge deal for Ford and GM drivers. This partnership gives them access to a wider and more reliable charging network, which is essential for reducing range anxiety among EV users. And there's more to it than just charging. Ford and GM are joining forces with Tesla's charging network. That's a big deal. It's like watching rivals shake hands for a common cause. This team-up is all about making life easier for EV drivers. Think more charging spots, thanks to Uncle Sam's support for the Combined Charging System (CCS) standard. This move is a giant leap towards making EV charging as simple as refueling your car. Now, Ford's not just sitting back and watching. They're diving headfirst into the electric wave, pouring a massive $50 billion into EVs up until 2026. They're giving a new electric twist to classics like the Mustang, the F-150, and the Transit. It's not just about the cars for Ford. They're creating a whole electric lifestyle, complete with top-notch charging solutions. They've got everyone in mind, from the urban driver to the long-distance hauler. But Ford's real game changer is their focus on customer experience. They're set on making EVs not just high-tech gadgets, but practical, affordable, and versatile vehicles for every kind of user. Take the e-Transit. It's not just a van, it's a multifunctional powerhouse, doubling as a mobile office and a speedy charging station. So what's the big picture for EVs? The scene is set for an electric revolution. EV sales are booming worldwide, with Europe leading the way, backed by solid government support and a growing environmental consciousness. In the US, the EV movement is gaining momentum, attracting more American drivers by the day. The car industry is in for a major transformation. EVs are reshaping the entire industry, especially as EV batteries' importance rises. Not just cars anymore, but a different ball game altogether. Nor can we overlook technology and infrastructure's evolving nature. The technology behind EVs is advancing at an incredible speed. For example, think of a future where your car takes you not only from A to B, without having to recharge it every now and then. On policy, governments are jumping on board the electric bandwagon, and thus setting up clear ways for the entire country to charge with all. Think of driving across the country with quick stops like recharging your car is getting a cup of coffee. That is what initiatives like America's Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act propose about tomorrow. Therefore, instead of worrying about running out of fuel, we are moving towards a future in which electric journeys are seamless with no worries about them. Now let us talk money matters. The market for electricity that powers these EVs will increase to around $190 billion by 2030. That's a significant chunk of change, signaling the rise of a new economy driven by both governmental and corporate efforts to transform the transportation sector. But to keep up with this ambitious vision, we're going to need a lot more charging stations. The current setup is just the beginning, and we're on the brink of diving deep into the EV revolution. Shifting our focus to what this means for drivers, EVs are quickly moving from being seen as futuristic luxuries to becoming the everyday choice for many. Thanks to decreasing running costs, the convenience of charging at home, and features that appeal to anyone with a love for technology, EVs are becoming increasingly accessible. Yes, the initial cost can be a bit of a shock, but the industry is hard at work to make these vehicles more affordable. Advances in battery technology are making EVs that can travel further, charge quicker, and are easier on the wallet a reality. But here comes the big question. With some EV owners expressing frustrations, are companies like Ford and GM facing a stumbling block on their path to electrification? Is this a major setback or just a small hiccup in the grand scheme of things? I'm eager to hear what you think. Is the growing discontent among some EV owners a serious warning sign for these automotive giants, or merely a minor obstacle they can overcome? How do you think this will influence the strategies of these companies and affect consumer choices in this electrified era? Share your insights, speculations, and dreams of electric futures in the comments below. And let's stay tuned for more discussions and updates on this electrifying journey. Remember, In this race towards the future, staying powered up and ready for the next adventure is key. Keep following along for more electric insights and debates.